Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new, to the Think Rugby podcast. As you can see, we have changed platform. For the first season, we were on Spotify. Really good turnout. I was absolutely loved what I was doing, so I've decided to up the game. If you've been a follower for a while, you would have noticed that I was looking for a co-host, and that comes in the name of this fine gentleman on the other side of the screen here. So, welcome, Andy Moore. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Zav. Yeah, I am 25-year-old, living up in Shetland, and as you know, my rugby journey began at Banff a couple of seasons ago. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So me and Andy met up at Banff when we were playing there together. It wasn't a great big spell. But it was about 3/4 of a season to half a season we had with each other. Became mates and that, and then Andy gave me the message when I was looking for a co-host. So I'm absolutely stoked to have him on. Here's one little icebreaker for you, Andy. Who's your? Is it? Would you rather be called Andy or Andrew or anything? Just whatever floats your boat.
yeah, I'm not bothered, just not Drew.
What about dickhead?
I've been called worse, whatever.
No, it's fine. Okay, so a little icebreaker for you. Who's your favourite Scottish player of all time and your favourite overseas player of all time? Or should I just say non-Scottish player of all time?
Favourite Scottish player at the minute would probably be Hamish Watson, though he's not in the picture for the national team.
What's your reason behind that? I'd say 3 years ago that would have been a very, very common answer. But I've not heard many people say that in the past couple of years. But is that just what you think it's based off club level or just because of what he has done for like Scottish rugby and just how good he was, or what's that reasoning?
Well, the main reason being he's not the biggest lad, but he still gets stuck in. A lot of tackles. I think it was a couple of seasons for the Six Nations for Scotland. Didn't miss a tackle. Okay, you might say, yeah, there was no fans that had an impact, but 2 seasons not missing a tackle. That's
Yeah.
that's insane for him.
For anyone, never mind just like Hamish Watson. So no, fair play. That could have been the year that he was player of the tournament. I think that was 2019, possibly, or maybe it
I
was.
minded to say I think it was maybe 2021 because one of them was definitely behind closed doors, for the Six Nations. So if it wasn't 2021, it would have been 21-22.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'm led to believe he's only the second ever Scottish player to actually win that award. Could be wrong on that, but I think it is in the Six Nations era anyway. But the only other person was Stuart Hogg, who's won it twice. What about overseas player? And it can still be Britain, but like just not Scotland.
Well, there is two, but I'll keep it with a similar theme, and I'll go for Courtney Laws. The season he's just had for Northampton, for me, it was very much he's at the end of his career, and he just really put all his energy and effort into winning Northampton the Premiership title. And yeah, although they had to go through the finals and everything, they were more or less top of the league for most of the season, and
Yeah.
yeah, kind of a fairy tale ending for them, which was good.
They were definitely the dominant force. Like, also, I was rooting for Bath because of like Russell and Redpath and what on Bayless. But honestly, just they were just incredible the whole season, orchestrated by Courtney Laws being the leader there. But no, fair shout. I'll never forget his absolute monster of a hit on the poor French fly half. It was Plisson or something his name was back in the day. But no, I think he's still had a few more years left in him at international level, but also club. But he's away to breathe now, made away with his little fortune. But no, thank you for that, Andy. What about a fun fact about you? Well, push you even more.
Well, fun fact for me, obviously I play as winger, and I once broke my thumb in a game. And what happened was we'd conceded a try. It was against the North Police, and the red mist came down, and I just wanted to leave a hit on the first receiver. My hand went smashing into the side of his leg, and immediately I knew something was wrong. And 5-10 minutes later, we scored a try. Spoke to the coach, and he was like, "Yeah, it's up to you, but I would come off if I was you." So I came off after that. I couldn't move my hand, like my thumb, backwards like that. And playing at 11, if I was receiving a pass from my right, it would be like kind of a lot more difficult. So that was my fun fact.
Yeah, injuries are just mental. I hate it. Honestly, there's nothing worse because especially when you want to play on the field, you can maybe can't just see it out, but it's definitely just best just coming off. But it's not like you could be making tackles though.
No, no.
No, okay, we're moving on. Okay, so unless you've been living under a rock, you will have noticed that the Rugby Championship is back. If you don't know what that is, it consists of the All Blacks, Australia, Springboks, and Argentina. Used to just be the Tri Nations, but as Argentina's developed, they're now into the mix. Really good addition. They're doing very, very well. To compare, it would be like maybe Italy coming into the Six Nations. Apart from Argentina have kind of been a bit more competitive compared to Italy. But no, back on the topic. So we had the Springboks vs the Aussies, and that was in Brisbane. It was in Australia. Well, what is there to say about that? I've been really optimistic about the Australian rugby ever since Joe Smith's taken over. They seem to kind of turn a page. Also, they had a terrible World Cup campaign with King Eddie Jones, the little weasel himself. But when Joe Smith came in, I thought at last, like a proper quality world class coach, probably the best coach since the Michael Cheika era. Pardon me. Unfortunately, though, it just didn't go to plan. It was 33-0 down. I never watched the game, watched the highlights, but I checked the score when I woke up first thing and I was like, oh my god. So it's just as well I didn't like put a bet on Australia winning because it looked pretty dire for them. What do you think, Andy? Did you watch the game yourself?
No, the kickoff was 5:30 in the morning UK time, so I opted to stay in my bed and do the same as you, just catch up on the highlights.
Yeah, no, I was the same for me. I was like, nah. I did wake up about 6, but I was like, I just can't. I checked the score and by half an hour in, like Springboks were soaring. And I was like, oh well, it's no contest anymore. Just a little side note though, if you are interested, on my TikTok, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be live streaming games and doing watch alongs. Also be doing it on YouTube as well if I can. So if you're interested, leave a comment, leave a like on the video because I think watch alongs would be quite cool actually, seeing me commentate over some games and that. I think it would be really good just to interact with you guys, you wonderful engaging audience. But no, I expected to be a lot closer that game. 7 points to 33 it finished full time. And to be honest, the only reason they did score was because Australia scored was because the Springboks were down to 13 men. It was Jesse Creel and I can't remember the other bloke, but Jesse Creel got sent yellow carded towards the end. It was literally 15 to 13. If you're not scoring, there's something incredibly wrong, even though it is against like one of the best defences in the world. So 7 points to 33, it wasn't flattering at all for Australia. They've still got a long way to go, in my opinion. Like I predicted, they'll do well in the home World Cup in 3-ish years time, but they're nowhere near the level of the top teams who's got to be in the semi-final and whatnot. So, what do you think, though, Andy?
I don't disagree. I mean, well, first off, I wouldn't take away from what South Africa did at the weekend. They were sublime. Curtly Aaron's, I could just tell from the highlights how good he was in that game. Obviously, got the 2 tries, and I mean the innovation for the first try, winning the line out and then throwing it up high. I think it was back to Etzebeth, and then Khaleesi from that maul went and got the first try for them, and it was. I mean, it was just demolition. I was the same as you. I woke up, checked my phone. Oh, half time, 21-0. I was that's game over.
That's enough, yeah. But no, funny you mentioned that. I'm surprised they did that kind of slick move. I thought they would save that for maybe an All Blacks, but on the other hand, they maybe expected a bit more from the Wallabies. That's what I'm kind of thinking. which is why they did that. In terms of Curtly Anderson and his try, the one when he picked up when it was like a thumb ball, I'm sorry, but any half decent defence would have gobbled that up. It was woeful. Like, you speak about dog legs in amateur rugby and how annoyed people get with dog legs in amateur. That was as amateur as you get in terms of the Australian defence there. Just half the guys came up. All he did was just waited, bang, through the front row forward and the second row forward. That had to try to tackle it, both missed in for a try. And when it's somebody like him, as nippy as he is, you need to be pretty precise to get that tackle right. So it was quite poor, if you ask me. But I mean, you've got to be there to score it and see the gap to score it at the end of the day. Here's one for you. The Springboks fly half. Now I've just lost it. I just had the team sheet up on my screen, and for some reason it's just disappeared. But I'm just going to call him Sasha. I know it's his first name. Do you know his name, Andy?
Off the top of my head, I think it was Zulu. Something Gomez Zulu.
It's just, that's a fearsome last name. Here we go. Yeah, Sasha Feenberg and Gonsum Zulu. So let's just call him Sasha for easiness, to be fair. Do you think that he will be the next big thing in terms of fly half for the Springboks? Because they've experimented with a couple of players in the past while, but it's always kind of them. They've always resorted back to Pollard at the end of the day when it really mattered. So I think Sasha is probably the next big thing. Like the hype Lebok up so much, and he's not a bad player, but he's just too inconsistent at times. Club level, he's absolutely incredible, but at international scene, he sometimes just isn't quite on it as much as you expect him or want him to be. But I'd like to know your take on that, actually.
Well, he's probably certainly the in fly half at the minute. To me, Andre Pollard is kind of beginning to come to the end of the elite level starting fly half. And although I think he had a very good World Cup, Lebok had a bit of a poor end to the URC. Obviously, the was part of the Stormers team that couldn't beat Glasgow in Glasgow for the quarter final. So I don't know that much about Sasha, but time will tell with that one.
That's the thing, because he's so young still. Like, you still just don't know. Like, you don't want. If I'm putting myself into the shoes of a Springboks fan, and they are quite obnoxious. No offence to any Springboks fans that are watching, they really like to overhype their players, and maybe that's contributed to, like, not the demise of the block, but why he's not been as well rated as that maybe they expect him to be. He's not reached his full potential as they maybe expected. Well, but I think we'll just kind of leave it at that, though. To be honest, there's not much more to discuss apart from where does it like leave both teams. Being honest,
well,
I'll let you give your opinion first, actually.
Well, to me, I don't know what the score will be in the second game, but you would fully expect the Springboks to win again. I'd probably back them to win the Rugby Championship this year, and the Wallabies, it's just a case of putting up, making it a competition for when the Lions come, because obviously it was only a 2-year contract that Joe Schmidt got.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's all right. Short term, stop it getting worse, and at the very best, make us competitive in 2 years' time. That's my take.
That's a very good evaluation, to be fair. Yeah. You got me thinking there. Yeah, that's actually probably, in a business sense, it's probably one of the smartest things that any club or international team can do. Unlike, obviously, England had Eddie Jones in a fearsome contract, and I think they've not long stopped paying it off, if I remember right, which is absolutely insane. And then also Scotland's got Townsend on until 2027, which again I think is absolutely insane. So, no, I think Australia's went the right idea about it, especially when they've had so many changes in the past while. I think it's probably wise for them to do that. But I will say they probably have had their best coach in several years, if not their best coach in the modern era. Yeah, from my perspective, anyway. Do you agree?
No, yeah. Andy's a Kiwi.
And yeah, well, that is a controversial thing as well. To be fair, you just can't rate it though, can you? Australian rugby trying to like develop in that, but it's by a bloody All Black. I said, well, not an All Black, but it's somebody from New Zealand. But it's what it is. If you're getting paid well enough, then you've got to go where the money is. I mean, there was no chance he was going to get the New Zealand job. Don't even think he was in contention for it, to be honest. But no, I think for Springboks, I mean, you're right what you say. They've got to go win it. They've got to go win this championship. It's been so All Black dominated for the past 15 years. I mean, they have won it. Might have to fact check that, but it's just been like All Blacks for like 90% of the time or 85% of the time. So I think it's their time though. I mean, because we're just waiting to discuss the next game, which kind of backs up your point and my point why I think it's the Springboks' time. So we'll just move on to Pumas have shocked the All Blacks. Now, who's seen that coming? And I'm going to say not me. I thought it was absolutely mental. Once again, I did watch this game. Sadly, I missed the last. I had my own training, so I had missed the last like 20 minutes or something. I expected All Blacks to pull away with it like they usually do. Checked my phone after training, and I was like, "Holy fuck! What's actually going on?" And it was full time. Literally just turned full time. I just did not expect that whatsoever. I did not expect is it Augustine Cravey, the 39-year-old hooker, to come in and score the winning try. Mad, absolute mad. Did you watch the game?
I did. I was up about 10 minutes before kick-off, and yeah, to me, New Zealand, in my opinion, very much got the rub of the green with the bounce of the ball, arguably the refereeing decisions, etc. And I thought there was a lot of key moments for the game in general. But above all, I thought it was a very good advert for rugby.
Yeah. See, when you say about New Zealand getting the rub of the green with the ball bouncing the ball, you're referring to the first try.
Well, yes, but not just the first try. Don't get me wrong. The first try, it was coming, and I felt it was coming. I thought either team was going to get a score. But for me, that first pass is marginally forward. It's not level. It is marginally forward, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
So yeah,
A bit of injustice. I feel sometimes the home crowd, the home team, usually gets a bit like biased towards them. Just sometimes the way it goes, sadly. But I can't believe they lost in New Zealand as well. That's like it's mental. Although I did see a thing. They said they've not won. Was it Wellington? The game was at in Wellington. They've not won at Wellington in 6 years. How can that? It's the All Blacks. How can that be right? That's mad. I mean, it's good that they actually do go about different places in New Zealand. Like they actually have the luxury to do that. Like same with Australia, they can go about, but obviously Scotland just play at Murrayfield and England just play at Twickenham. I say Twickenham, whatever it's called now, the Allianz, whatever it's been named.
yeah.
But no, it's good that the All Blacks do that. Fair shout out to Sam Darby who actually got his try on debut. He like scored that mad kind of team try with like you mentioned the bounce of the ball and that. But it's good to see like new players coming through. I was a bit unsure about who's going to replace likes of Vitalik, likes of Barrett is injured now, but the likes of Sam Whitelock as well. Like who's going to come through? But no, he looks pretty decent that guy. And same with Tupou Vai. He played a bit of the World Cup as well, Tupou Vai, but just didn't get like the game time. Also because there's Vitalik and Whitelock, and then Barrett as well. So it's good to see new boys coming through, especially in that second row position. I think that David McKenzie needs to. He was good. David McKenzie, you know what? I was a bit slander D-Mark because I've got a running joke from my mates because he absolutely loves D-Mark at 10, but I just don't think he's the right 10 for the All Blacks. See at club level when he's at 10, he's absolutely amazing. But when when he plays for the All Blacks, again he's very good, but I just don't think he can win games. I think he can just play very well, but I just don't think he can win games. Like he can find the gap in that, but if you compare him to like a Richie Moanga and the way Moanga like controls games and turns up when it matters the most, against Ireland in the quarter final, for example. It's like I just feel like the All Blacks need to sort that problem and fast. I don't know if they've got anyone really coming up. Like I mean, Barrett's far better at 15 in my opinion, and so is DMAC though, which is the bit of predicament you have. I don't know who else you've got to put there, so I think they're just trying to make the best out of the situation they've got. Maybe adapt their game style a bit, play a bit more freely, which was maybe their led to their demise on Saturday, and maybe Argentina knew that and they tried to like pounce upon that. I'm not too sure, but do you think Robertson's out his depth?
No, not at all. I did think he was very fortunate with how the two tests against England went. For example, the second test, Bowden Barrett came on, pretty much won them the game, which says to me that they're struggling to get players up and through. And you're saying the likes of Sam Whitelock. Again, it's a 4-year deal for Razor. His job is we can't have 3 Springbok World Cup wins in a row, go in and bring it home to New Zealand.
Yeah. No, fair point. Sorry?
No, well, I was just going to say, I mean, Mackenzie, I agree with you on that point, but it's maybe similar to what Marcus Smith was for England. I mean, you could see the talent there, but you're not just quite sure where the best position is. And he's also following in big shoes from the likes of Owen Farrell, obviously.
Yeah. No, that's a legitimate kind of input. No, that's fair. Here's one for you. The centre partnership for Argentina. Do you think that? How do you think that went? And also, I'm going to ask. Once you answer that, how do you think it went? I'm going to ask you something different. But I'll let you answer that a bit first.
Well, it obviously went pretty well considering they won the game, so that's the smart arse answer.
No, so the reason I'm asking is because I'm going to ask you something a bit even more specific. I can't get the squad up, but so the 12 plays for Toulouse.
Okay.
They had Cynthia at 13. Cynthia obviously has shown his class, but also the 12 at Toulouse. I mean, he sometimes can't get in because to the Toulouse team because you've got Aki there, but he does still play quite a lot. So, do you think that it's not just based off his game, but maybe I'm basing it a bit off his game as well? Do you think they're maybe in the top 3 or top 5 centre partnerships in the world?
Well, if I'm being brutally honest, I haven't watched enough Argentina games to decide how good that centre pairing is.
Yeah.
But certainly, off the top of my head, there is a couple of centre partnerships I immediately think of that would be better than that Argentina partnership.
Go on, test me.
What, sorry?
Test me.
Well, okay, you've got bias, but for me, Tupelotu and Hugh Jones for Scotland.
I don't think that's bias. I'd have them. Let's go top 5. In no particular order, top 5.
Well, the Scotland centre partnership.
Yeah.
Then I would probably go for the French partnership. I can't remember the boy's name. It plays at 12, but Gail Fickou at 13.
Would you go Dante? Would you go Dante or Morfana at 12? Because they're both quality. Like
Dante.
yeah, I'm probably agree. To be fair, just he's a bit more explosive off the blocks and that, but can be a bit reckless at times. He got sent off against Italy in Six Nations. But I would tend to agree. Yeah. He's very similar to Tuipulotu, apart from Tuipulotu's a bit more creative. I feel anyway. But yeah, I would give Fiku and Dante as well. Archie and Ringrose.
Well, I was going to say Bundyaki and Henshaw, but again, Ringrose, that three mixed in the midfield partnership. I would say Ringrose has dipped down maybe the last 6 months, but certainly a year ago I would have said him and Bundyaki would have been, arguably the best partnership in the world.
Yeah. No, fair. So what's that? Would you say that's top three then?
Yeah, they're certainly fourth out of the top five, and that is because you have put me on the spot.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. What just for me it would be you'd have the Irish partnership in there. You'd have the French. You'd have the Scottish. I might be unpopular here. You'd have the Fijian partnership in there.
Okay.
Tuisova and Naiklevu. And you would have. You probably have to South African.
Jesse Creel and whoever it is that.
Yeah, Lindy.
His name again.
But then again, you can have Esterhuis in there as well, who does a job. I just think it's the Springboks' depth, to be fair. So maybe I don't think Argentina maybe get in there, but I think they're bloody close. Sixth or seventh best partnership for sure. They just look so lethal, so dangerous. But once again, I always like to see like an underdog team getting in there, and they certainly were the underdog against New Zealand, and they did very well. So, but no, I was a bit of a derail. That's my fault. Audie Sevilla, do you think he's probably like captain quality, or because I absolutely love Audie Sevilla, but he took the reins in Scott Barrett's absence. Once again, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I just don't know. I don't know if that takes away his. Obviously, like he is a leader, but does it take away a part like his playing ability as much because he's focused on leading the team? Because when he like Sevilla's on it, like he's the best player in the world by an absolute mile, like a long shot. And I mean that with the point on top of his game as well.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that then.
Fair, that's fair. That's a conversation another day, but I just don't know, like, I just felt he just wasn't as on it with being captain. It could have been by chance, it could have been because Argentina were very tactful, with the approach to Sevilla. I'm just not sure. Where does it leave both teams? We'll end on that. Where does it leave both teams? Like, realistically.
Oh, what now? Sorry.
Where does it leave? I said, where does this leave both teams?
Well, I would fully expect the All Blacks to win next weekend, and I would say they would. How convincing they are in winning it, I don't know. To me, Argentina deserved the win because it wasn't until the last 10 minutes I felt that they were starting to get the rub of the green that I was on about with the All Blacks. So I would expect New Zealand to win, but the score and how convincing they do it, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I just can't see Argentina doing the double. I just can't. New Zealand do tend to sometimes bounce back, and I think they could possibly bounce back with a massive dramatic effect. Yeah, being honest, because I mean, you live and breathe rugby in New Zealand. You take a loss personally, especially in home soil. So I think they'll be back, and they'll be back strong. I'm just going to leave it at that, to be honest, because I don't fix it. But now we'll see how it goes. Moving on though, so a bit more closer to home, or not so much closer to home for me these days, but for you certainly. The new Scotland tops. What do you make of them? Because they seem to be absolutely plastered over the Scottish rugby media, and I'm just a bit unsure, to be honest. There's a home and away one, but let's see what you think first of it, Andy.
Well, the home one, I have to be honest, it's pretty poor. I have seen a lot better. I don't know what it is, but the Arnold Clark logo is nonsense too big as an advert. At least with the Peter Vardy logo, no, not the logo, but the advert of it, you had the logo as well. Whereas with Arnold Clark, it's literally just Arnold Clark,
Yeah.
and there's no logo, there's no pantomime with it, and I really do not like that green stripe around the collar.
Oh, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I don't know why they even bothered. Why they thought to do that. Like, the national colours are blue and white. Why? But the fact they just like added a bit of green into it, I'm not a fan. Uh, I've
Green
never.
would work if it was tartan.
Yeah, aye, for sure. We've had like green tartan on before, but they've been really nice kits. Like for example, it was a 2019 away kit. I've actually got it. It's like a light blue. It's like a baby blue colour, and honestly, with
Mm.
a bit of green tartan on it, it's absolutely sublime. Everybody says when I wear it, it's a really nice kit, and I agree. Not being biased at all, but I just don't know with this one. I just wish we would change it up a little bit sometimes. Always seems I know it's like traditional to have like just like that colour of blue, like dark blue, and then have it quite plain and basic. But I just wish sometimes have something a bit more exciting. But I don't know how. I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how like off field to do. Like so you sometimes see like Australia do it. Like they say, keep the same colour, like the golden colour, but they've got like the pattern around the sides and that. It just looks nice, and I don't know. It's hard to. It'd be hard to get away from the tartan for Scottish rugby. That's for sure. What about you? What's your thoughts on that though?
No, I don't disagree. But I mean, everything you were saying about how good some previous kits have been, I at first I wasn't so keen on the away kit, but it has kind of grown on me. I love like how they've got like the swords, the claymore kind of effect, and it's the whole 13-14 Battle of Bannockburn, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no green. The the sleeves have got Alba Gu Braith on them.
yeah.
I like that. It's quite a nice touch, and
Do you know what it
yeah,
means?
I know Alba means Scotland. The other bit I should know, but off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
I was just testing you. 'Cause I have no idea either. No, I know. I'm just nah. I'm looking at
You'll
the whole.
never be allowed to set foot in Scotland again.
No, no. I'll stay down here. It's fine. I'm looking at the away kit again, and do you know what ruins it? Like, for me, that is a perfect away kit. But the one thing that ruins it is the big Arnold Clark sign, big Arnold Clark sticker at the front, which you alluded to a bit. See the women's kit, which is the exact same, apart from it's Scottish gas, and it's a lot smaller text, and that literally looks a damn sight better with a lot of this smaller text. Looks really nice actually.
But then, being devil's advocate, I mean, it's the text is, as I say, too big, too in your face.
Yeah, it
At
is.
least keeping it to like a Scottish-based company. They haven't done in England.
Yes, yes, that is true actually. I was looking at the Scottish one in I just now, and I don't, once again I think it's the exact same. Like the women's kit, it's a traditionalist kit. Let's be honest, but that green stripe just looks so ugly. But the women's one, it doesn't look too bad because like the only thing I could complain about is the green stripe. Whereas with the men's one, it's a green stripe and it's the big Arnold Clark. But I mean, if Arnold Clark are paying the money, then I mean, you've got to put the sponsor at the front of the shirt. Let's be honest. Especially when, well, I don't know if you've heard the rumours, but the rumours are S1E1 are struggling financially, which is not good for Scottish rugby whatsoever because the participation at amateur levels kind of dropping off as it is. So, and they just not got the funding to try help amateur clubs get into like coaching and into like schools now where all the kids are essentially. Then how are you going to like improve and not get help numbers improve?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, that was sort of the thing that Mark Dodson was perhaps underlooked for was a lot of kind of corporate side and work that he used to do with the SRU, the whole BT Murrayfield, Scottish Gas Murrayfield. I think he was the first chief executive to do that. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's just rugby catching up with the times and getting sponsors.
Yeah, it most definitely is like the professional era. I won't. I won't disguise that. It's a professional era. Like you've got contracts. You've seen teams go bust. Like obviously, but yeah, it's a tricky one. The rumour is Scotland are £10 million in debt, which would probably explain why we've got 4 tests this coming November instead of the usual 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a lot of money being splashed about, and like a lot of other organisations, there's perhaps they spend too much money in the wrong places. Yeah, they're not alone in an organisation in doing that, but certainly their end of season accounts for the last financial year were pretty abysmal,
Yeah.
and were amongst other things the SRU, in my opinion, have been doing wrong.
So what do you think the money is going towards? Like, obviously you get the good, like it's going towards some good stuff. But what things do you think, like not so good stuff, like the money's getting thrown away, like art? Much idea or?
Well, to me, I mean, although Mark Dodson should be credited for the work I've just said, getting money through image rights, like, I mean, in terms of the kits, sponsoring Murrayfield, I mean, to me, it's just if it's always going to be Murrayfield, it's not going to be anything else. But there's people like himself and other top directors, even Gregor Townsend, in my opinion, earning far too much money, and it's crippling the business.
Townsend's on, what is it, 650,000 ish? Could be a bit less.
I think he was on 500k a year with his contract extension he signed about. When he signed it, I'm not sure, but his latest extension, he's up to £500,000 a year.
Honestly. By the way, guys, this is why I opted to get Andy on the podcast as a co-host, because he's just a little start merchant. He knows everything about Scottish rugby, so it's very handy to have him. But no, that's interesting because I know roughly that what the wages are for like certain coaches. Like obviously Eddie Jones was on like 1.3 million, which was mental, but nobody's really came close to that really. Razor Robertson's only on 500k, I'm pretty sure, or somewhere whereabouts, maybe a little bit more. Which for like one of the biggest like rugby nations, it's not that much. But I think that's just a kind of usual. But at the same time, if you're on £500,000 a year, you'd be expected to perform on the coaching side of things. But I think I'll leave that for another podcast to decide whether or not he's or debate whether or not he's up to the scratch. But I think I've been quite clear and passionate on my opinions in the Spotify podcasts. Right, I think we will crack on. We're getting actually, we're 40 minutes in. Actually, that's great. If you're still with us, thank you very much for supporting the podcast. Remember, we are on YouTube full time now. We're off Spotify. Also, drop the TikTok and the Twitter, or the X, should you call it, a like and a follow. It helps out the channel a lot. And like I say, once I get up to 1,000 subscribers on TikTok, I can start doing watch alongs and live streaming, which will be really, really good. We're getting there. It's gradually building each time, and you also get to see some of my ridiculous controversial takes, which makes some people bite like fuck. So it's quite entertaining if you head over to my TikTok. Okay, we've got to move on. We've got to play a little game. So I've been waiting for this for a long, long time. Honestly, I was waiting for the day that I could play Guess Who with somebody live, and the reason being is I've discussed with yourself. You've got somebody in mind. I've got somebody in mind, and I'm going to make it a competition. So how it's going to work is, if you never listened to the podcast before, I had 5 clues, and those 5 clues gradually get easier and easier, and you should be able to guess who the player or coach or rugby person is by the end. If you guess within the first clue, that's 5 points. If you guess in the second, it's 4 points. Third guess, 3 points. so on for like fourth clue 2 points, and the last guess is a little 1 pity point. With a lot of twists because it's both of us from now on. We're going to be against each other. So as the weeks go on, we're going to have like a little tally going. But it also means you at home can join in as well. So you can do it for mines, and you can do it for Andy's, just keep a score separately, just whatever. But for me and Andy, we're going to be competing against each other. So say if like I'm 5-3 up, that's going to add on to like the week after, and it could end up being like 33 points to 35 after maybe 5 or 6 weeks. Probably actually, that's maybe a bit ambitious, probably a bit more than that, maybe like 10 to 12 weeks. So that's the idea behind it. I'm really excited. Let's see how we do. Make sure you leave a comment what you think the person was, if you got it right, and also just how many points? Yeah, how many points you get. And also keep a tally. So get your little notebook out and tally down how many you get for this week. I think we'll go ladies first, and I'll let you go first, Andy. Or do you want me to go first, actually? Which one would you rather?
It's 2024, it's an equal society. I do not care.
Okay. You know what? I think I'll go first. Yeah. Apply the pressure. Right. Clue number 1. I played between 1990 and 2007, but that is including my amateur and professional clubs. Having played most of my professional rugby, in France.
Oh, I'm going to struggle with this one. For anyone who doesn't know, just a quick I only dropped football and swapped properly to rugby in 2020. So that's just context. So
Well, I'll give you another little side clue. He's still involved.
no, it's fine. I'll have a guess. I will guess that it is Jim Hamilton.
That's a really good guess, to be fair. Incorrect. I would have been gassed if you got in the first one. Question number 2, or clue number 2. I've represented the British and Irish Lions twice, as in 2 tests, but it was on the 1997 South Africa tour. I guess I've narrowed it down because now you know they're British.
Scott Hastings.
Another really good guess, but incorrect. You know what, Andy? Like, you're doing a lot better than I thought you would. Yeah, so far. Clue number 3. I've had 82 appearances internationally and scored 164 points. But this was between 1993 and 2003. So international career was 10 years, 1993 to 2003.
Yeah, I'm just thinking British legends now.
That's alright.
That's kind of been the key theme. Martin Johnson.
Ooh. That is incorrect. You're getting warmer each time, to be fair. Number 4. My coaching career began in 2005, and I am an existing international coach currently.
Andy Farrell.
Incorrect. Clue number 5. My biggest honour was winning the 5 Nations as a player in 1999. And my biggest coaching honour is coaching Glasgow Warriors to win the Pro 12 in 2015.
Gregor Townsend.
There we go. Yes, he's got it. Gregor Townsend, Tooney. After just discussing him just back then, I didn't want to speak about him too much because obviously he was my answer, and I thought if we start discussing more and more and more, you would kind of linked it back. But no, Gregor Townsend. So of course, the current Scotland rugby coach. If you know my opinion on him, I think he's done all that he can. But he signed him to 2027, so we'll weather that storm or kind of enjoy it as it comes. But yeah, so Gregor Townsend, very good player, played fly half and a bit of centre as well, I think. But he was before our time. Of course, we were born in 2000. Or you were born in 98 or 99. But
99.
yeah, it was a little bit before our time. But nevertheless, like he is a Scottish legend playing and probably go down as one of Scotland's more successful managers. I wouldn't say the most successful, but one of the more successful managers, especially in the modern era. Okay, so you got 1 point. I mean, it's better than zero. That's the thing, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. We've got all the way until the end of next season to try and beat each other. So, yeah, your turn for the clues.
Okay. Question 1. I was born on the 18th of August 1989, which makes me 34 years old.
34 years old. I'm writing this down, by the way, because I'm an absolute lot of sado and sweat. 18th of August 1989, 34 years old. Still old enough to play international rugby. Sia Cleese.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Question number 2. I can play at fullback or wing.
Fullback or wing. 34 years old. I think he's this age, but I'm not 100% sure. Has he played fullback though? No, I think he has. Oh, Liam Williams.
Incorrect.
Right.
Number 3. I have played in the past for Wasps.
Wasps. London Wasps. Played fullback and wing. Oh, I think I know. Willie LeBou.
Correct.
Yeah, there we go.
You get 3 points.
Nice one. What was your second and first clue?
The next one was going to be I'm a Rugby World Cup winner, and then the last one I'm South African.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think I might have to be a bit more like generic. Like that was good. Like if I was wrong that one, I would have probably gotten the fourth one. But no, Willie LeBou. I think you know what? When I was watching the highlight, I've watched a bit of the game, like extended highlights. I think he's past it. Like I don't know why he's still getting picked for South Africa. To be honest, like back in the day, he was quality, but I just think now he's 34 for a back three player. That's pretty old, if you to be honest. Like usually, you start losing your speed by that point. But I suppose he has adapted his game a bit, but I still don't think he's up to the quality. Like, but what do you think though?
Well, I mean, I may be thinking too positive, but I'm thinking, well, fair enough. He's with the World Cup winners. He's maybe part of the squad and everything, and but he must be not bad before he's keeping somebody else out when you're the World Cup champions and the South Africa have got probably riches to pick from.
Yeah, fair point actually. But that's what I mean. That's why I'm so confused. Like he's getting on so much, but nevertheless, Willie LeBou. I got it on 3. Let me know what you got it on. Hopefully, it was even less, but that would be maybe a stab in the dark if you got it on less. Same with my clues as well. Let me know what you got. How many clues it got for you to get. Gregor Townsend, but was again probably a bit of a stab in the dark until it got to like the coaching part. Okay then. What we're going to finish on is literally so in the podcast on Spotify by myself. It was Legend of the Week and Prat of the Week. So I think or Twat of the Week. So we're going to keep it relatively similar. And I've just got it written down good and bad. But you know what? Let's keep it Legend and Prat of the Week. So We'll give a couple contenders, and we'll come to a conclusion, I guess. Do you want me to go first for Legend of the Week, or will I go?
You can go.
I think for me, Legend of the Week, there's a couple. I'd say Pumas, in particular, Augustine Cravey, 39 years old, scoring a try like that. It's like, come on, like that does not happen often, especially against the All Blacks. I mean, sometimes see players getting a wee cameo at the World Cup when they're getting on a bit against like Chile and teams like that, but not against Poland, the All Blacks. So for me, that's my nomination. Have you got a nomination?
Yeah, and an outstanding or honourable mention even for me probably would have been Curtly Aronsa banging two tries in the opening game, the Rugby Championship, and tearing it up for South Africa.
Fair point. Fair point. One just came to mind actually, and I think it's more not closer to home, but like in a UK sense. Nigel Owens, congratulations to I think it's Sir Nigel Owens, who just got married. I think it was either today or yesterday, or not too long ago. I thought he would have been married by now, but because he's getting on a bit. But no, fair play. He's got married to his partner, and that's great, and showing that there is diversity in acceptance in rugby. If you didn't know, Nigel Owens is gay. But I mean, if you didn't know that, I mean, you're probably hiding under a rock for the past 20 years. What about Twat of the Week? Unless, are you happy for that to be Legend of the Week? Because
no, that was my Legend of the Week. Yeah.
For me, I don't think you can supersede that just because Nigel Owens, he's just an absolute. It's Nigel Owens for goodness sake, like the absolute goat of refereeing. Twat of the Week. Well, could be a few. Could mention the Scotland top or parts of Scotland top. Could mention the Australian performance, the anticlimactic Australian performance. But for me, I think it's probably rocky start for Razor, and that's me trying to show a little bit of alliteration there. I've not done that since school, but my English teacher will be proud of me for that. I just don't think it's been the start he expected or anyone expected. The scrape past England, let's be honest, they had to get Barrett to save them. They beat Fiji, but Fiji just didn't turn up and they just were just naff, basically. And then also just lost to the Pumas, which is probably like what you expect them to beat them in New Zealand. So I'd say Razor, but if you've got any other Twat of the Weeks, then fire away, mate.
Yeah, my Twat of the Week would probably go to Jesse Creel because he got sin binned in the 76th minute or something for the Springboks. And at that point, it meant the Springboks went down to 13 men and they would have had a clean sheet, no points conceded, in my opinion, had he not been sin binned against Australia. Because it wasn't until they went down to 13 that Australia scored their try.
Fair. Yeah, well, I'm happy with that. We can maybe call it a draw there, or agree to disagree. Well, truce. Still going to happen often, though. I'll tell you that now for free. Yeah, so that is actually, we've went on for so long. That is the end of the episode. First one on YouTube. I'm so happy we've made it through. No trial runs, nothing. We've just completely raw dogged it, and it's worked out. I think we've done it extremely well. Shout out to Andy for reaching out to me and wanting to become part of the team, part of the Think Rugby podcast. Brilliant co-host. Like I say, absolute start merchant. He knows a lot of things that you just don't think about, just like the little nuts and bolts, nitty-gritty stuff. But it's really, really good to have, and hopefully you take great interest from that, because I know I do, and a lot of people that watched before took interest from like the in-depth stuff. On that note, eventually, in the podcast, we won't just be speaking like rugby and how the games that have happened and reporting games. We'll be discussing topics such as SRU, which is Scottish Rugby Union, more in depth, the RFU more in depth. Also, I'm in England, so I'm learning more about the RFU now, and Andy's in Scotland, so he knows a lot about the SRU and how it's going and how they're fucking over teams, essentially, amateur teams, essentially, which isn't right. But other things as well, just do little games here and there, rating players and whatnot. But anyway, what we're going to do is we'll leave it at that for today. I think we're just disconnecting now, which is a bit of a pity. But yeah, we're back now. but we disconnected there. But hopefully you caught that. But if not, guys, thank you very much for coming. Anything you'd like to say before you sign off, Andy?
No, thank you for having me on, and folks, smash that subscribe button.
Yes, yes, actually. Thank goodness you're here. Kindly forgot to say that. Leave a like, subscribe, pass on to that mate because we're trying to grow the channel and, like I say, get some good watch longs going and also just be able to produce more quality content. Okay then, see you in a bit, guys. That was decent, I feel. See for being the first one, like you know what? See once we. I think we may be better off doing the guess who at the start or near the start. Got to engage them quite quickly. Also, I feel we start becoming a lot more conversational towards like not just after the guess who, but like when you started speaking about like the SIU and that, you were like it was really conversational and it was like really just like off the cuff and just like it was poetic basically. It was just like gliding, but which was really good. And then same with the guess who. So I think maybe do that at the start to engage the folk and then crack on from there. But no, I enjoyed that. I can even just upload it just as it is. To be honest, I don't think there's much slip ups of that really, and yeah, I think it's decent. I do expect you to watch back a whole hour worth of footage. That's for sure. Yeah, I think it's just like folk that get interested in that game, like they'll sometimes if it's later on, they'll just be like, "Oh, fuck this." I don't know. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. We can base it off viewership as well. Aye. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll do that. Can screen record and can screen record and I'll do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Very good idea. Which kind of just like brings out the pushes the channel a bit more. And yeah, yeah, for sure. Nice. Okay then. Are you want to upload this evening? Bless you. Did you fart halfway through? I swear there's a fart noise halfway through. I was like trying to like not to smile. I was like, nah, fair. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's decent, man. Yeah, that's no worries. Yeah, that's sound. Yeah, I'm happy with that. But yeah, nice. Honestly, I can't complain. The first one's always like the most difficult one. I think it was clear to see that the stuff that we were like clued up on the most was what was like most natural and like probably the best kind of like conversation. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it happens. Like Yeah, no, that's fair. But we'll learn. We'll know each other's like boundaries eventually. Like I just know like Scottish rugby like use like an encyclopedia for Scottish rugby. It's mental. No, that's okay though. That's quite alright. Don't remember that. What I'm going to do is don't feel like you have to stay on. By the way, oh, fuck. Yeah. If you need to go, just hang up on that. But I'll hang. I'll hang him up a bit longer. Yeah. I just think about things. What's up? Aye, aye. I'm just being greedy and eating more pizza.